Okay, so welcome Treepl people to, this is called Treehouse #1. And this is going to be full of surprises, I'm sure. We'll see how it all ends up. But we do have an agenda that we are working with, and we are trying to stay within 1 hour because I know it's midnight, if not 11 p.m. for some people. So the Treehouse, why we started the Treehouse is for a lot of you guys, you are existing BC customers or partners. You've been part of a community for a long time, whether it be through Agency Tribe or Sandpile, or even before that. You've seen the amazing success the community gatherings have been for everyone. Sharing thoughts, ideas, suggestions, code snippets, all that kind of stuff. It certainly helps in everyday life, because a lot of times us agencies and designers and developers and front stack developers don't have time to talk to actually people that do the same stuff as us. So this is always a nice little network to connect with. Also, it kind of gives us an opportunity as ex-BC partners, and it looks like right now we have quite a few, to kind of keep the ball moving. It was devastating in March, especially for those of you guys that had a lot of sites on BC to move to a new platform. So we're all kind of scrambling, trying to figure out where the best solution was. I know some of us have opted to move to Duda or to WordPress or to SiteGlide or CBOs. The great thing now is, as much as it sucked in March, we have so many more options now. And so I actually think it's better at least for my agency, it's been better because I've been able to explore other platforms. And, at the end of the day, shame on me for putting all eggs in one basket here. Now I have options to kind of give to everybody. So apparently we're supposed to have about 30 people joining our meeting. It could potentially get up to 50. That's amazing. When I was speaking with Adam and Peter originally, we thought it was just going to be like the 6 of us, maybe just 3 of us. So this is super positive. Feel free to listen in the background. I know when I was going through some of the town hall meetings with the other platform and even some BC Sandpile meetings, sometimes it was just nice listening in the background. So feel free to jump into the background, keep working away. I ask you to mute yourself just so I don't have to hear your clicking while you're talking. And I just wanted to mention that we have Donna and Nicole from our agency is monitoring that. So that if you guys have any questions during the meeting, feel free to put it in the chat. We'll answer any questions. And because we're going to have every skill level here, from high-end developer all the way down to people just starting out or just exploring the platform as well. So we're not any way affiliated. Me, Peter, Adam, and Catherine, we're not affiliated whatsoever with Treepl. We just are partners of Treepl. We purchased into the plan. And we just figured it was time to start something because the platform is happening. Sites are being launched and things are being done. So we just wanted to get this thing going. But we'd always loved more people to be involved as well. This is a community meeting. I'd like to give just a few shout outs. I won't do this every meeting, but just the first meeting to Hope Stewart for naming our community. Originally we were going to have Treeple people, but I thought it was better to be Treehouse. So that's she came up with that name. So thanks, Hope. I also want to give a shout out to Adam Cook, Mike Salander, Scott Reynolds, Dave Hagelblad, and even Barry Alt in the meeting here for so much that they've contributed to the BC community. Honestly, without them, it would be less of an experience. And I have huge respect for those guys and everybody there, and they've just done an amazing job. As far as the hosts for the Treehouse gathering, myself, Aaron McDonald from A3 Creative. I'm based out of the greater Vancouver area in a small little town called Port Moody. We have 4 breweries down the road from us, so it's super handy. Adam, go ahead.
Yes, I'm on the Central Coast in Australia, just an hour north of Sydney. Been with VC since 2008, so we're really looking forward to Treeple.
Perfect. Catherine.
Hi, we're BC Partners since 2009. We've done a lot of SEO work with a lot of the BC partners over the years. Still have a lot of partners we do work for at the moment, as well as our own clients too. So we're really excited to be part of Treeple now. We put a couple of sites live just to sort of test the water a little bit, and it's been fantastic. So we're really excited to start moving and migrating some of our current sites across.
Cool. Peter.
Yeah. Well, we're Genicorp based in Aarhus, Denmark. We had like 106 websites with BC when everything was great. Been a partner for like 8+ years. Starting migrating sites to Treeple now. Have 8 live sites, I think. 20-ish ready to go in trial. Yeah, and some of you might run into me on Slack. I do help out Treeple with the public backlog. As Aaron said, I'm not affiliated with Treeple in any way, but I'm just trying to help out. So yeah, that's about it.
If anybody wants to introduce themselves, now is a good time. We can just kind of go left to right, and for people, if anybody wants to step up. Anybody? Say hi. Don't be shy.
I'm Mary Blight, and you'll see my husband's here also in the meeting. We've got a web graphics and web design business in Perth in Western Australia. At around the announcement time, we had about 120 BC sites. We actually got into BC before Adobe bought it, and now we have about 103 still to do. And we've got a number of different platforms we're using as well, but we need Treeple for our more complex sites. So we've jumped on board.
Cool, thank you.
I'm Dawn Jacobson Omega, and out of Northern Idaho, Spokane, Washington, Eastern Washington area. I'm at Firefly Group, and we focus on nonprofit and educational. And we have sites across many different platforms. Primarily it was BC and WordPress. We've moved most of our BC sites off, but there are a few bigger contracts that we have that are going to need to be moved to something besides WordPress, and there really hasn't been anything out there that I found other than Treeple, and so that's why we're here.
Cool.
Hey, I'll talk to you. So thanks for the call out there, Aaron. I'm Barry Alt. Hirsch and I run Agency Tribe now. I used to be BC Sandpile. I kind of was in the background helping Scott and those guys out with Sandpile for years. But anyways, I'm here because I feel I have a number of sites that will fit. I like the back end. I haven't done a lot with it yet. I've just kind of been lurking. So we'll see what happens. I got a lot going on, but I think after the first year, we're going to get rocking and rolling with some stuff. So looking forward to see what everybody does.
That's the word of the day, Barry, lurking. I love it. Hopefully.
Hey, everybody. I'm Greg Tompkins. I'm from Top Left Designs on the sunny Gold Coast here in Queensland. We just sent our first Treeple site live this week. It was a build from scratch, so it wasn't a conversion. And we really want to use this as a learning curve as to what pitfalls we may face when starting to do conversions probably next year. And we're been BC partners since 2008.
Cool. Anyone else want to say hi?
Yeah, I'll say hi, folks. I'm Steve Johnson from Scotland. I literally became a partner on Monday and took the plunge and paid my fee because I've been dithering about looking at all the options. I am using Symfony and Webflow for my lower end sites, but there's nothing there for the high end and more complicated ones. I've been watching Platform OS. It's almost a completely different language to me. And I'm not sure when that's ever going to be ready. I just really like what Alex is doing with Treeple. The interface looks familiar, and I can't wait to get started and playing around with it. I've got 39 sites, or I had 39 on BC and down to 32 now. So it's going, and it's just me.
Yeah, hi. Tim here, Tim Lochmüller from Germany. Business Catalyst Partner since 2010. Around about 25, I think 27 Adobe Direct subscription sites are also in there, but like 25 sites. On BC still, nothing migrated yet. Actually, on Friday, I'm starting a very big BC project. I worked for a year on that. Super complex, already booked and paid because, as you all know, I can't book any BC anymore, but I booked this already in August. A super complex site, and I hope that can be migrated to Treeple next year, because I choose Treeple because it's the closest I could see to do these very complex sites with web apps, customer submitted content, heavy liquid stuff. I couldn't find anything like that out there. Maybe Platform OS, but we heard about Platform OS and it's too complex for me yet. But I'm also looking at this for even more complex stuff. But for my customers today, I have Treeple is the best choice at the moment. And I'm just working on my first Treeple site from the scratch, making my first experiences. Had my first client meeting today, and showing the client the admin was like, he was impressed with the nice editor and everything. So yeah, looking forward for the next months to come and next sites to be done on Treeple and migrated next year, of course.
Cool. Anybody else want to wrap this up, or?
Yeah, sure, I'll go.
Cool.
Hey guys, my name's Alex. I'm in Vancouver, BC in Canada. I'm a front-end web dev. I work as a contractor. For the last 2 years, I've been working for an agency that does mainly life sciences communications, and as part of their offerings, they offer websites. So I've never been a BC partner, but they are BC partners, and so I came on and learned the platform. And just around last Christmas, I finally thought to myself, I was like, nah, I think I got this under control. There's almost nothing I can't do with BC now. And then get the announcement. So that's kind of my story, and I'm still working almost exclusively for them. They have no end of work, and now they have the big project of moving all their clients over to another platform. Same as all of you, we looked at all the different platforms, and Treeple looked like it was the most promising, the furthest ahead, and offered the most right out of the gate. So we've got a bunch of sites in development on that platform right now. We've been threatening to make a couple live recently, but you know, clients keep pushing things back. So yeah, that's kind of where we are.
Last chance, anyone? Anyone? All right, let's keep it moving along here. So I'm gonna share the results of the poll here, so I don't know if you guys can see. Again, I apologize, this is my first time using the poll, so I'm sure I could have done a better job, but at least we got 12 in, so yay for us. And I might actually post the poll next time we do it while everybody's in the meeting room, so we actually have more votes. But we'll just go through here, which using Treeple, which describes you. So we got 67% are somewhere in between a non-coder using pre-built templates and a heavy coder. So kind of every end of the spectrum here. I loved question number 2, to use Adobe Muse. All 12 said no, thank you. How many sites do you still have on Adobe Business Catalyst? Right now we're just looking at 21 to 40 as hitting the highest, and then 41 to 60. So a few with 101 plus sites. I'm assuming that's Mary with that. How many sites do you plan on moving over to Treeple? So all of my sites, so 25 to all. Interesting. Guys, feel free to jump in if you have anything to say about these. Are you an official paid Treeple partner? So 10 of the 12, 83% said yes. And I'm assuming a lot of the no's are just lurking through the meeting here to find out if it's the right fit. Love that word. How much Treeple have you explored so far? Only a little, 50%. What code editor do you use for building websites? 50% with Adobe Dreamweaver, a few on Visual Studio and Sublime and Atom. Got it. Hands up to anybody in the room right now. Anybody using CLI, a command line tool for doing web dev? Anyone? Nope. Okay. Who's using CSS processors like Sass or less? Mostly people are using Sass, and most of the people are not using preprocessors. If you're not using preprocessors, I would certainly recommend it. It's like CSS in an art form, so it's definitely worth learning. As a Treeple partner, are you white labeling your client-facing admin with your own branding? Yes, at 75%. So I just wanted to touch on this one here real quick. And maybe Peter and Adam can jump in on this one as well. But when we originally signed up to be a partner, we were assuming we were able to use our own custom domain with it as well, which we're running into problems with workflow notifications being sent as admin@treeple.co. Have you guys heard any status on when they're going to be offering custom domain as part of our partner? You haven't heard anything?
Well, actually, I think I hope they're going to split it up in 2 sections so that the emails are going to be branded before the other the domain, the custom domain. I know they're working on it, but I don't think it's like top priority to get our own domains yet. But it would be nice to have those.
Yeah, assuming if people are if they're doing white labeling, which means you're going to be offering the support, you want to have that interaction with your own domain and your own email and all that. So I'm sure we're going to have to vote on that one and get that thing going. How familiar are you with Liquid Markup? Interesting, 50% somewhat familiar with it. So I definitely recommend viewing the Shopify Liquid Markup tools. I know Adam's put a whole bunch of documentation in. What's the other one called? Stringy Me or something like that. It's for figuring out the proper date strings in Liquid. It's quite easy to use. And again, Adam's done a fantastic job in the documentation with the support of everyone, and it's definitely worth checking out. Adam's always accepting requests, as I'm sure, and it looked like you did change up the interface slightly a bit. Is that true, or?
For the documentation you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. I'll talk about it later. Definitely get into Liquid. Like, it's not as hard as it looks. It's pretty easy, and you can do a lot with it. So definitely, and I'll be putting tons more Liquid snippets up in the documentation as well. So
cool.
Get into it.
Cool. So I'm just going to start. So this is kind of in that point of show and tell right now. Again, we're just starting these meetings out, so we're gonna figure out how they're supposed to be functioning in the next meetings. We'll have a website up eventually that you'll be able to post comments on, and hopefully we'll have this thing rolling along. We'll have a video of this. We'll keep it on YouTube and share the channel with everyone. But figure just review the recent sprint here. The one that was delivered on October 31st. Again, feel free to jump in, guys, anytime you feel like it here. But add basic open graph fields. That seems to be working pretty good now. Has anybody actually tried it out yet? The open graph fields. Anyone? No?
I'm still trying to catch up to the last updates, so
okay.
I haven't got to the newest one yet.
Yeah, I'm assuming nothing's being outputted unless something is actually in there. So there's probably a liquid unless or liquid if statement. So as soon as you start adding stuff in, it'll output in the head of the document. So I'm assuming that's what's happening there. I know for me as an agency, this was a big one, the redirects, because I actually couldn't take any site live until that was fixed, because I needed to have the proper. I didn't want it to redirect to /home. So anyways, it looks like it's been fixed now, and you can actually assign a home page, which has been good. Little things, adding links to the menu items instead of having to type it in. That's a huge help. Primary language on the site, being able to do that on the new in the new SEO field. Site activation billing. I know there's been some hiccups with some of the billing. I know I was transferring a domain for one of my records for one of my guys, and I got stuck on step number 4 because I was in the middle of transferring a domain from one web registry to another, so that caused a bit of a hiccup. But this is all ready to go as far as adding plan. You can actually pay right from here. But I know they had some bugs when you actually paid. I went to PayPal, it didn't actually come back and authenticate this page. So I know that's been fixed as well. So once you paid, you got to wait like 5 to 10 minutes, and then it'll take you to the domain page here. So you guys can all see my screen, right? I'm not talking in midair here. Okay, good. So robots.txt files on templates. It's automated. It's being included. Me personally, I write my own TXT files, but it's there in case you need them for adding disallows and no crawls. Text type image source. What was this, Adam? Do you know what this was? Text type?
Nope.
Nope. Oh, okay.
Aaron, it's on blocks and slides. When you needed to set in images, you couldn't go to the file manager to pick images. It was just like text strings, so you couldn't put in like a link to yeah.
Oh, right here. Okay, gotcha. So it is now.
That was added. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha. Default homepage setup with the / URL. Yes, that's done. Disable content from site search. Yeah, that was a big one. So being able to do this from modules and, well, pretty much anywhere, you can actually disable from the overall site search, which is pretty fantastic. I actually tried out the site search yesterday, and it was pretty powerful. It literally outputted everything. So you're going to have to sort of wrangle it in. It's not like BC, where it kind of just outputted like the paragraph info. This literally, if you have an accordion, it's going to output that. So you're going to have to we're going to have to control it a little bit to see how it all works out. File manager and templates and snippets. I guess that wasn't there before. The admin, it's showing as admin in the up on the page title. Title, tag, and menu items. Can anyone tell me why we need that? Sorry, I'm pretty big on SEO and stuff as well, but why do we need title tags for menu items? Is this, Kirsten, do you want to?
It's the same. That's right. It's the same as having a title tag for any link. So all links across a website should have a title tag.
Okay.
The same as what images should have a title and an alt tag. So this really helps because it's a menu generally is on every single page. So if you can have the title tags coming in as well, then it's just another indicator of what that link is about. So the more we can get that on every single link across the site, which includes the menu items, the better.
Right. Okay. So it's right inside here. Perfect.
Hey, Catherine, can I just ask, how do you handle that? Like, do you still allow the title tag to show? Like, do you manage that somehow? Because I just find that really off-putting in terms of design.
Yeah,
like
it just, some of the JavaScripts hide it and don't actually show it, but it is written to page. So we're more concerned about it being written to page and actually being in HTML than it displaying. Most of the time it doesn't display though, just the way that a lot of the scripts work.
Right. Import, export of items on TreeView. Okay. I didn't even notice that one there. But I'm assuming, Adam and Peter, this is for custom modules and all that kind of stuff. Is that what we're talking about here? It's this import export on TreeView. I thought that was already in there already, but anyways, so okay, so in case you guys haven't actually checked it out, I definitely recommend going to the public backlog. If you're a partner, you can access it from here. If you're on the site, you can access it from, where is it here? Right here, development public backlog. It shows what's been delivered. It shows what is in progress. Right now, I know for the next sprint, just speaking to a few of the guys from Treepl, they said they wanted to clean up all the modules. They wanted to, update, improve upon the site. So that's why there's not as many things that are being done here, because they actually want to, because they've done so much in such a short amount of time, they want to make sure everything that they've built is solid. So This is why there's limited items here. Everybody following along so far? Yes, good. Thumbs up if you're following along. I can't tell if you guys are here. I'm kind of like talking to my own screen here. Perfect. So I'm just going to jump into just a little show and tell. I've only migrated one site right now. I have quite a few sites that I'm going to be looking to migrate over, probably 55 plus sites. But I'm doing the really easy ones first, just so I can learn the system and still keep working and paying the bills. So this is, but so far so good. It's been the first site was a learning curve. The second site was a little bit easier but more complex. And I've gotten to a point now where I'm migrating sites, in my simple sites, using my tools, within 2 hours to 3 hours. Downloading the existing BC site, using FileZilla to bring everything over, going into Treeple CMS, just updating a few things. As long as I got my CSS, my JS, all my includes, everything ready to go, I can literally see a live site right away, and then I can actually start changing up my module content holder tags or my web app tags or any of that kind of stuff. I know exactly on the site, like you can literally see where you need to update. So that seems to be for me, that's what I've been doing so far. So I don't know if it's the best way or not, but so one of the sites I launched was a friend of ours. They run a renovation company. I also wanted to test out the SEO capabilities of the site as well, and we use our own SEO auditing tool. And the site prior to it with BC was sitting at about a 91% SEO health. The final site that I launched, the same site launched on Treepl with some slight improvements, was finished at 98% SEO health. So I don't know if it was load time. I don't know if it was just cleaner code. I don't know yet. I haven't diagnosed that far yet into it. But there's definitely improvements. There's definitely ways of making this thing appear a lot better. All right, so the first one is, I know there's been some comments going around regarding the gallery, or lack thereof, of sort of a drag and drop, put a whole chunk of photos into a gallery, and out pops a nice grid or masonry style gallery that people can click onto. It's got a little pop up. So we just don't have that yet, and I don't know if it's coming or not. Again, Peter and Adam and Catherine, let me know if you have more news than I do. But we are trying to, it's kind of like we're still kind of working in that BC scenario where either you're going to buy an app for it or you're going to build it yourself. So I just went ahead and built my own gallery. I had to figure out, what. I'll just kind of show you the gallery that I built here. I'm using. For this site, I'm using Foundation Framework, so the latest Foundation build with SAS, and I'm using for the gallery Isotope as the gallery. So it's got a nice little feature. It's fully responsive gallery, and it was quite easy to do because I was able to actually go in, and I'm so used to writing for loops. And I apologize to anyone that doesn't know too much about Liquid, but just bear with us as we're getting through this stuff. But adding for loops within Liquid module tags. And Adam brought up a good point where we can actually start creating our own lists. So if you have multiple, I don't know, say you have an event and you have different layouts that you want to have for each event, for each list view. So rather than writing a, your for item in blah, 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 a for loop, you can actually use the list view here as well. So I found this to be quite good, and it's been quite effective here. So for this gallery here, all I did is, I just created it's sitting within a row. So it's sitting up in a row of 6, within columns. I've added all the appropriate tags. I've actually added some image algorithms as well that are following the Liquid for cropping and anchoring as well. And you can find all this on there. Adam's left a link for image processing. But I really like this because I was able to create my own fields. And again, I'm sure there's gonna be a better way of doing this in the future, but I was able to create my own fields exactly what I wanted right away. I had a thumbnail image and a photo description. And so this is what's being outputted here. It's your photo and your description here. hopefully following the proper SEO protocols as well. I've got my href with the title tag and all that. But I can upload this using the import function as well. There's quite a lot of images here. So again, this is my workaround until they actually create a proper gallery. This is what I've done, and it's working for me. So in case anyone's interested in finding out a little bit of code on this one here, I'm happy to share it. The other one I wanted to share was handling documents. So in BC, we had media downloads, which was kind of limited because it gave some really weird URLs, and it wasn't as SEO friendly. I actually stopped using the media download probably the last year and a half. And I wanted to show you, sorry, I should say that the gallery I was using, Magnific pop-up, not Masonry. Document downloads. So for this particular site, just building out a new soccer club, our soccer district website right now. It's currently on BC right now, but I needed something to handle all of the documents that they have, and they have quite a few. I needed to be able to categorize things into different sections, and I needed to be able to have some control over it. So I created a custom module called Document Downloads. Just go into the settings here. Any of those BC people that haven't been on Treepl yet, it'll start to all make sense here. Creating the initial web app or custom module. You know, I can assign my own category, so I've created a category for each of the documents, so I can start to assign it in different slots on my website. I actually created a drop-down using Font Awesome. So I'm using Font Awesome 5, and I've created a PDF icon, an Excel icon, and a Word icon. And I've created an actual download area called a media download, you know, where I can actually do a proper media download. I'm using that word again, media download. Document. And I'm using just a little bit of liquid here. So if this icon equals PDF icon, so if the drop-down choice that I choose is PDF icon, I create a liquid capture variable called FA icon, and I'm outputting the FA file, the Font Awesome file. Exactly. Else if icon is Excel icon or Word icon, it outputs the different icons here. So if you go into my documents here, you can see I have the selection for this. If I decide to change the board meeting minutes to Excel, I can hit save, refresh, and it's somewhere in here. I probably didn't save it, but anyways, it does work. It's all in there. So this is, I mean, for me, this is what I use to kind of get through the process. But what I like about this is I also have control over the documents. I can actually start to add my own SEO stuff within the document as well. So again, sky's the limit. It's like having a web app, but it's called custom modules, and you can pretty much create everything here. So as far as taking a site live, I'll just be real quick on this one here. The process has been pretty seamless. I'm usually doing everything super fast, so I always miss a whole bunch of steps. So that's why Slack has been quite awesome for me. And Peter and Adam have saved my day quite a few times. You know, just simple things like, I don't know, if you're using GoDaddy, like not putting the whole TXT record or the domain into the TXT record. I was waiting for like an hour for this thing to populate, and I took it out, and it literally happened right away for me to get to that next step. So it was like one of those bonehead moments. So yeah, it's a trial and process error, but yeah. If anybody has any questions, hopefully now I'm pro on taking a site live, so I can certainly help you there. So, anyways, that's all I wanted to share today. Again, I'm kind of working on this website's live for me. It's not, you know, the one of our most complex sites, but it was an easy site to do right away. This one's a bit more complex. I'm trying to. I have actually a. This is the live site right now. So it's actually got an integrated map with all the fields around Vancouver. So it's a bit more complex, and we don't have the option of doing zip code search through Treepl right now. So we're gonna have to work with the Google API in order to solve that one there. So, and then this one, I migrated over in like 3 hours. So it was pretty simple. I mean, it's a pretty simple website, but it's for those really simple sites. I mean, not that you're trying to make more money off existing clients because you promised them a system that was going to be lasting forever. We do need to make some money, and we do need, and it does take time to do this, but for those simple sites, it can happen quite fast here too. Adam, do you want to say a little thing about the documentation?
Yep, sure. I've been working on that furiously. I couldn't get to it for quite a while, but sort of getting back into it now. So I'll just share my screen. Okay, hopefully that's sharing now. Is that good? Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay, so yeah, so there's a lot more items coming in here with all the releases that they're bringing out. So I wanted to introduce the search function. Obviously, that's going to help find stuff. So that's working pretty cool. It's like a dynamic list there. I didn't actually make this. That was already in Treepl did that. So that's thanks to them. So that's working. And so what I'm doing now, I see under site management, site settings and management, there's a whole bunch of new or updated pages. I'm just trying to go through them all quite quickly and just do quick overview videos. So they're pretty a bit raw at the moment, but there's just quick videos that just go through the whole section and quickly explain it, so you can just get a good feel on what it is, what it does, and a little bit of a write-up. So I'm going to try and do that for every item in the documentation, and then go back and rework them all and make them, like, flesh them out more with more text instructions and whatnot. So hopefully that just gets everyone up to speed quickly and gets them in there, because yeah, it's all just lacking at the moment. So yeah, that's where I'm at with the documentation.
Cool. Catherine, did you want to jump in real quick and talk about the SEO improvements that you've been working with Treepl on?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. We've been putting through a whole group of recommendations for the system so that we can really get Treepl as SEO friendly as possible. There were so many sticking points that we had with BC over the years, from having no control over sitemaps to all those little problems that we had where we just had to do these crazy, silly workarounds. So talking with Alex and the crew, they've been absolutely fantastic, because they said, you know, we want this system to be as SEO friendly as possible, and everything we possibly can do to improve that we want to do. So, you know, that's been just sensational. Having a group of developers who are that excited about SEO is fantastic, because at the end of the day, we want to be able to produce the very best websites that are going to, you know, rank beautifully and have really good visibility and have control over that visibility. I think that's a big part of it. Really being able to decide what you want in search results and what you don't, you know, without having to kind of go to the nth degree to try and fix things. So lots of work with them over the homepage issue that we had with that / and the redirects. That all had to get dealt with. The automatic sitemap, so we've had lots of discussions around that and how important that is to make sure that customers don't need to actually update their own sitemap, because that's something they're not going to be able to cope with very well. You know, even some issues like, you know, the open graph, that was something we sort of have really pushed, trying to make sure that page speed is, you know, really top of mind, you know, enabling compression control and how the JavaScripts are running. So all these kind of things on templates, because I know templates are a really important part of most you know, most websites, most VC partners are really looking for some really good templates, and having them with a really strong base and really really fast is super important. There's a couple of little bits that we're still kind of struggling with a bit, you know, being able to doing bulk URL redirects. That's something we're sort of really trying to push as much as we can to be able to do uploads of that. You know, even being able to switch off things like photo gallery details and web app detail pages, all of these have been really high on our list. So we're working with the guys and trying to get, you know, as many bells and whistles as we can so that we just have more control. And I'm really excited about where this is headed. So if anyone's got any ideas that they want to put forward, please let us know, because we want to make sure that we can you know, really get this system up and running and producing fantastic websites.
Mm-hmm.
I think, Catherine, I think Alex wanted to know what foundation, what CSS framework we prefer, right? I followed that discussion on Slack today.
Yeah, that was something to do with the templates, because look, I think a lot of BC partners are looking for you know, templates that they can quite easily rework and get new sites out.
Exactly.
I know that's something that we're always looking for, and especially really high quality templates. So I think that's one of the areas we really need to try and be you know, proactive. If you jump into the template section on the Slack channel, it'd be really great to get everybody's feedback about the kind of templates that you're looking for, you know, what framework whether, you know, it's Bootstrap or Foundation, or you know, what is really going to suit your business, so that we can really start getting some of those coming forward and, you know, making our life easier for new sites while we're all busy trying to migrate all our old sites.
Catherine, I had a question about, are you looking at Twitter cards and schema as well?
Look, I think they're all important. You know, rich snippets are huge. I know it's really easy now in Search Console to be able to add them, but the problem is that things like Facebook don't see them if you put them on dynamically through Search Console. So there are areas like that that we would really like to see extended. I think it's just in a list of most important at the moment, but as much as everyone can send through what they're looking for as well, we can make sure that we continue to put that into the backlog and really start building what your requirements are to get these sites, you know, really pumping.
Yeah, and as far as AMP is concerned, I wouldn't suggest anybody push the button on AMP on your pages quite yet, unless you know how to properly code out an AMP page yet, because I don't think it's quite there yet. So, and I know Alex is making improvements on how to be the best supplier of AMP page in a CMS. So I think that's coming later, of course. So.
Yeah, I think so too. I think the problem with AMP still is that there are a lot of items that we can't actually integrate into it. So there's no e-commerce still, web forms, they're all problematic still. So like it's a fantastic option, especially for smaller sites that are a little bit lighter and more text-based. But for anything too complex, it does have a lot of restrictions. So I think they're still looking that. It's not off the cards totally, but you know, they haven't sort of moved forward too much with that at this stage.
Yeah. Peter, did you want to say anything on the backlog side of things?
Well, actually, yeah, and I have another thing after that. Yeah, regarding the backlog, if we need like a bit more interaction in there, so if you guys have any requests or you have any comments for the requests, please go into the backlog channel on Slack and comment or come with new requests or whatever you want. And for like migration, as you mentioned, Aaron, I did a video of a migration like in one take where I moved from BC to Treeple. So if anybody wants to see it, I can just it's been on the Facebook page of BC, but I could just publish it in the chat if anybody wants to see. It's like a very simple site, but it just shows like moving templates, doing content holders into snippets and so on, like small things, but it might be helpful for some. So I'll publish in the chat. So take a look.
Sounds good. Anybody else have anything they want to share before we move on to our chat questions? Because we have, it looks like chat questions, we're up to about 8 now. So looks like some pretty big questions here.
I've got one thing to share. We use edge animation in a lot of our templates. We make our own templates, and our focus with moving sites to Treeple is,
what's that?
Is to move our code over as is, not recode the templates for the clients. The first one I moved over had an edge animation in it, and I couldn't get it working. What happened, it was on the home page, it kept flashing up and then it kept going away, and then I found out it's because Treeple has a dynamic way of naming the home page, so it can be, when you set it up, you can't set it up with the dot whatever it is in the home page. You can't say it's .htm or .html. And the Edge animation was looking for a .index.html page. So in the end, I solved it. After a lot of help from Peter and Adam, I solved it by doing a 301 redirect for the index/page to point to index.html. So that was just a little technical problem. If anyone's using Edge animations, that's a little technical problem to be aware of.
Good to know.
I'm just going to jump in on that because I helped out Mary. The problem is Mary actually figured it out herself doing the redirect, but the thing is that I don't know that much about Edge animations, but the thing is that the target for the scripts could not be rooted, so they were not with a slash in front of it. So that's why when you go to index/, it thinks it's a folder, so it can't find the scripts, so it needed to be rooted. But I couldn't figure out how to do it on Edge. Maybe you can figure it out that way, so you won't need the 301 redirect. But yeah, that's the main reason.
Yeah, Edge animation, the actual Edge animation code, we're not great coders, and I'm certainly not very good at JavaScript. I'm great at HTML and CSS. I can do anything in CSS, but JavaScript always confounds me completely. I've done about 4 courses and I've just given up trying to work out how it works. I can do tiny things with JavaScript, but you get a really big long thing and I'm lost. And that's what Edge animation is. So I never touch that code. We just do it and it works. So we just, I did the 301 redirect because then it was less invasive and I wasn't going to break it.
Cool. Unless anybody else has anything else to share, I'm going to keep rolling along here. So we're at 10 minutes to 3 our time. It looks like we'll probably end up running 10 minutes over. So if you need to leave early, again, this will be recorded. So we'll add it to the eventual Treehouse website that's coming soon. So we're just going to go over the chat questions that Donna from A3 has been compiling here. So I'm just going to share my screen here. 1 second here. Okay, so first question from the MailChimp timeline here. What's the MailChimp timeline? Peter, you said December 26th as the when it's supposed to be ready for testing?
That's what it says on the roadmap, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so you can see it on the webpage, yeah. Version 3 is with the MailChimp.
Okay. We need to sort out the poll questions that everyone after. Yes, I got it. I will sort that out. I'll figure out how to properly use it. Billing question: can you pay with credit card and then update the? So right now, the only billing solution that I'm aware of is by PayPal only. As far as I know, in the next 3 or 4 months, there's no plan to change that. So if you need to pay by credit card for points or whatever, you need to use credit card through PayPal. Because they're doing their automated billing through PayPal. That's how it's happening right now. So as of right now, unless Adam or Peter, you've heard anything different, that's the word I got on the street.
I spoke to Alex just very briefly about that because I wasn't a fan of PayPal. He seemed to think integrating Stripe wouldn't be too much of an issue. So hopefully we'll see Stripe as well.
The other thing that I did yesterday, I sent a new site live and we paid through sort of our bank account, but then I wanted to swap it over, so I was able to swap it over to my credit card for next year. So that's another good thing about having it in PayPal. If you need to swap accounts on where it's actually going to get charged for the next time, you certainly can.
Got it. Studio RTP. Sorry, I didn't catch your name at Studio RTP. In case you're still here.
Yeah, my name's Ryan Given.
Ryan, perfect.
Yes.
I'm curious, is there not an option to add an image in the WYSIWYG editor, or am I just missing it? Yeah, I don't think it's there. I think it's one of those very obvious thing that needs to be there. I think it was there, and then they fixed the editor, and now it's gone. So yeah, for the non-coders, it's going to be a bit of a pain. But yeah, Peter, Adam, have you heard anything on when that's going to be updated?
Yeah, I actually talked a lot about it. The thing is, it was there from the beginning, like a demo. But the problem is that the ones that do the Visual Week editor, they don't allow Treeple to browse the files of your current site, but the files need to be at the producer of the Visual Week editor. So that's why they couldn't do it with this one. So we've done like a request. It's in the public backlog. You can go and vote. So what I figured they might be able to do was when you open the file manager, you can, instead of just, you could still copy the code as you can today, but I think it would be cool if you could just drag and drop the images right on there and then get like the image toolbox that you would get normally. I think that would solve all the problems. So if you want that feature, go to the public backlog and give it a vote.
And apparently we have somebody from Treeple on here, so everybody needs to give a thumbs up on that one. That one needs to be done like now. So there you go.
It'll actually work out better.
What's that?
I think it'll actually work out better once it's more integrated with the file manager, the Treeple file manager, rather than just an image picker, because as we get more functionality in the file manager, you'll be able to, you be in the file manager and do more things like the alt tags and things like that while you're inserting the image as well. So I think it'll be better once it's nailed out.
For sure. Are they Steve Johnson says, are they working on an e-commerce at the moment in the background? Good question. I did ask a few times, and they're looking at more of the core functionality of the site right now. I know we've heard that in BC before, but it's actually stuff happening. But as far as I know, it's still planned for version 4 in March. Is that what the plan was? I'm assuming no response means I'm correct. So there we go. So yeah, probably still planned for version 4. Anyone with experience having migrated a Treeple site? I understand why it's not. Sorry, I'm missing something. The pricing is very fair. It's just tough for clients who recently launched without a table.
No, without a table comment has to do, that was back to photo galleries. So
okay, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, if you're talking about migration and creating your own pricing and stuff, we're all going to create our own. Especially for white label, we're going to all create our own pricing. It'd be nice to have like some sort of minimum suggested retail price from everyone, so we're all kind of on the same page. But that's probably not going to happen. So how you price your Treeple sites from the markup to the conversion, all that kind of stuff is, and what sort of maintenance packages you offer. I know we've already set our pricing for Treeple, but we're Canadian. We have to watch the U.S. exchange rate. That's sort of where we're at with that one, right? So we have to. It's a bit different for us, and I'm assuming for everybody else outside of the U.S. as well. Accessing the code would be great for galleries. Yes, we need to replicate BC Lightboxes for many sites. Yeah, there is no out-of-the-box solution right now. There's certainly amazing and free stuff on the web that you can find. Isotope and Magnific pop-up. I mean, there's a ton of things. You just need to dive into the code and understand how it all works. Mary says,
if anybody needs like easy like go-to thing, I have a video which I shared with Mary, which I did for her to set up galleries. So it's just very simple, but with the Lightbox thing, just to get you started. So if anybody needs it, just give me a shout on Slack. I'll just send you the link to the video.
So on that note as well, for the new Treehouse website, we will have a marketplace in there. There'll be a free area where you can post. We'll post snippets of code. Something even as simple as like the copyright year, how to actually have the year on your footer of your website change dynamically every year. All that stuff's available and quite easy to find. So we have that available, and we'll put that on there. Mary says, in sending a site live, I've learned not to put in the A record for Treeple until you are sure previous steps worked fine and you got the SSL text code right. I haven't tried to do it before. I've only kind of followed the steps and everything worked well for me. So I'm just going to keep going with that and following the steps. I'm assuming they put the steps in there for a reason, so I'm going to just not question that and keep going along. Peter shared the video. Donna, did you put the video in the chat or Is it in the chat? Because I don't know if people can actually get this link here. Okay, she said yes. It's like a, any news on the API? Good question, because I got like 3 bids out there that are relying on API being done in March. So hopefully that's happening soon. I know they're exploring it right now because they have the MailChimp integration. But as far as opening up to the partners right now, I haven't seen anything other than version 4 in March. And Adam, I'm correct in saying that version 4 has been moved to March, right? I heard that somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Anything in particular to note when uploading a BC site?
1 second.
Yeah, I think it's really with BC, everything was custom, right? So it's really depending on your needs and how you built the site. I'm certainly looking at sites I've built like 2 years ago versus 6 months ago. Everything that I was building 6 months ago has little comment tags on how to move this module to a new platform. So versus a year ago, looking at my code, going, "What the heck was I thinking?" So in the process of migrating, I've been sort of fixing and cleaning up code as well on that side. So, but other than that, it's for the most part, if you're using Liquid for directly on the page, you can pretty much copy the same collection variable over. So what I usually do is I'll put the I'll leave the BC web apps tag, for instance, and then I'll put the custom module tag right underneath and just sort of copy the collection variable and all that stuff that I need, and then delete the BC one. I'll do it like that. So overall, the process has been pretty simple so far. I haven't hit my more complex sites yet. Finishing up here on booking paid sites, do we get a proper invoice automatically? When I paid the partner fee, I'd ask Alex to send one. So I've paid. I paid for 3 sites now, and I've got an automated email from PayPal as a PayPal receipt from code production. So I've asked them to. I said we're going to need not only a PayPal receipt, but also an actual invoice receipt from code production or Treepl. So I'm just waiting for them to get back to me on this. Hopefully they watch this video and because I need it from our accounting point of view as much, just from taxing and stuff too, as it's important for Tim L as well. Dean, hi Donna. Appreciate if we get partners' opinions on the migration wholesale prices being public. We are concerned that it is limiting our ability to earn a partner subscription back and build in much margin. Dean, are you still on the line? I just want to see if you can talk about this one.
Yes. Yes.
Go ahead. Oh, is he there? Okay. On the migration wholesale prices being public. For me, I'm glad they're not public. We've paid a big chunk of money to be a part of this public community, or sorry, partner community. And I like having the prices hidden. And I like being able to set my own prices because I am offering a customer service plan as well with my hosting solutions as well. So I like not having the pricing there. And I also like that Treepl is focused on building a CMS and hopefully still turning away business from a end user build a platform point of view too. So,
hey, Aaron.
Yeah.
I think we're talking about migration though, and those prices are on the site.
Oh, thanks, Barry.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Migration wholesale. Right. Gotcha. Thank you. We're talking about the Treepl. Where is it here? These prices right here, right? For site owners?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Can you hear me, Adam? Aaron?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, our concern, we've got a lot of BC sites. We're looking at shifting across. And look, every client we tell them about Treepl, the first thing they do is go and look at the site. And they'll go and look up this migration calculator, and they'll tell us really what we should be charging them. For starters, they probably won't be able to work out the migration calculator, but even if they tried, they're not going to understand all the other complexities around the costs of a site. We need to build in margins. As with Business Catalyst, you could be still quite competitive in the market, we found, even with their prices. So the business model that Treepl are presenting is great for us if we can maintain a competitive edge. We can still be competitive and offer great sites and make good margins. But as soon as all the wholesale price is exposed, we lose that ability. And to be honest, it takes away our incentive to move people to Treepl, because it's a 5 to 10 year proposition. We're pushing people across to the Treepl platform. We're taking a big risk moving people to Treepl in the first place. I'm not saying it's a bad platform. I'm just saying it's just starting to be developed, and we need to mitigate some of that risk by building in some margins. And we're not able to do that here. So anyway, what I was expecting was wanting to hear people think about putting that migration calculator behind a members partners login. And just let us know what you think.
Sorry, I was muted, guys. I was talking.
Yeah, you were.
There we go. Apologies. Yeah, I totally agree. Adam, Catherine, what do you guys think? Is this, Peter, is this something that we can discuss with him? I think it certainly makes sense. I never even thought about it. I never actually, to be quite honest, I didn't even look at the migration stuff yet. So that's good. That's why we have the community. Could bring up all these topics that we all miss, right? So
yeah, they had it as just 3 pricing levels prior, which still created the same problem. They're very low, which is great. Their pricing to migrate is terrific. But what we want to build in is the ability to add value, and it's hard to do that with those prices there because they won't see the value that we would add in the shift. Essentially it's just wholesale pricing. So nowhere is that done in business really. That was just our thoughts. Alex is open-minded about it. He also just wanted to hear other people's opinions.
Oh, so you've already spoken to him about it then?
Yeah, we've had some communication, and he wanted to get feedback from the community.
Well, that's let's champion that and make it happen.
As far as white label, if you're going to offer a system that's white label, be truly white label. From what's on the website to what's in the documentation that the customers see to the email, whatever the email says, domain names and stuff. One thing, when I signed up and paid my premium partner fee for Adobe, I want to be white label. Then suddenly the documentation had Business Catalyst all over it, and this, slowly things went away. So if you're going to be white label, you got to be white label 100% or not do that.
That's right.
That's my feeling anyways. And that means taking pricing and stuff should not be visible, I guess, on the site. I mean, there's pros and cons to it for them, but I don't know.
Yeah, the business model isn't sustainable like that. Sorry, Barry. Yeah, I see their business model is around servicing partners. They need to service partners, not the business owners. And I know they've said that they want to service partners primarily, and so at the moment they're trying to do both.
Right. Yeah, because BC for years, I mean, I was able to sell it as Adobe. I never sold as Business Catalyst, and I use Adobe as being, everybody knows that. Well, now I can't say, I'm not even going to say Treepl. I see Aaron has his CMS logo in there, so it's his CMS. He's branded it and even used CMS on there. Unless you've had that on your logo all along, I just assumed you put it on there for the admin area. But I agree. I don't think if they're going to focus just on partners, that pricing needs to be someplace else.
Yeah.
Let's keep that conversation going, guys.
Yeah, I just wanted to give my 2 cents. I think you're absolutely right, and I think Alex is going to be grateful of hearing it. I just wanted to let you know that I don't think that that you should be scared about them doing both sides. They're only targeted us as partners, so that's why I also think when he hears this and hears how the community feels, they're gonna do something about it, because he's been approached by a lot of our clients, not our, but BC clients, and he always tell them to move to partners. So they're not gonna take away our clients. They want to move them to partners. So I think he will be grateful to hear what the community has to say, and I hope he's gonna listen to us.
Mm. So our job, sorry, I'll just say one more thing. Our job, as it was with BC, was to sell that amazing BC system. And we all did it. Really good job. We did a great job of it. We loved it. And for us to do that, we need to be able to build in that have that margin, and to be able to upsell and not sort of look at the bottom level of service of saying, okay, we can get the cheapest price. That's not that's not where I think a lot of the partners are. So we'll really support and fly the flag for Treeple if there's something coming back to us, because at the moment there's no commissions. There's really not a lot of incentive, to be honest, and there's a lot of great systems out there. So we want to buy into a system like we did with Business Catalyst that we can build our business off.
Well, and I'll address that commission thing, because we had a lot of people here were in the whole commission deal that just happened where they wanted to take commissions away. I truthfully believe you shouldn't look at commissions as an incentive to sell the platform. Ever sell it. I always looked at it as a bonus, and a lot of other people did too.
Yep.
You should be pricing on value and doing care plans and things like that. So if they want to give us a commission, that's great, but I'm not using it to sell by any means. That's just my feeling.
No, but it's just one less little bit of profit. That's all. I didn't either.
I hear you. I was just trying to say, I wouldn't say, geez, I want to sell them 5 more sites because I'm going to get this much commission. No. I want to sell it because I'm going to be able to provide quality website and user experience to my customers more than anything.
So guys, we're running low on time here. I know we're dropping participants here, so we probably need to keep this moving along. I know we've marked it on our end. I'm sure Adam and Kirsten and Peter have marked it on their end for sure. And the more I think about it, it's definitely something we need to talk to them about for sure. So just a few more things before we finish off the meeting today. I'm just going to share my screen one more time. I wanted to talk about the public backlog and voting. So we'll jump back into the public backlog. So if you're on this page here, you can see all the tags, you can see what's available. Oh, did they remove the voting from here? Oh, they're there. If you have a chance to get onto this CMS wish list page, just go in and vote for things that are relevant to you. Don't go and click everything because you think look at the stuff that is like priority, and just click into it and vote. If Zapier integration is not important, it doesn't look like it. But some of this stuff, and it's just a Facebook like button basically. Please go in and vote. Peter's the one that's been adding these and managing them from requests in the Slack channel. So please, again, go in and vote because this is how this platform is currently being built based on what we are needing.
Yeah, go in and vote, and don't do the same as Aaron and like all of them, as you can see. So that would be great.
So the next sprint being November 14th. We already discussed that at the beginning. What's involved. They're trying to clean up the core modules first before they get too ahead of themselves, that they have everything nice and clean first. I asked the question about, in case any of you guys are wondering about email migration between servers, and this is the response I got from them. Basically, they're using the same mail network or mail exchange server, whatever they're using, Basically, right now, BC creates a layer between the client and the mail provider. So Treepl will work directly with the mail provider. So all the user data, mailboxes, alias brands will stay the same. The only thing that's really going to change is the incoming and outgoing mail server. So in case anyone's still managing emails, it looks like the process is somewhat seamless, other than having to update the incoming, outgoing mail server and the mail webmail settings.
And that is mentioned in the documentation too, and there's some pretty good notes in the documentation on that process. So yeah, follow that through as well if you're migrating BC hosted email.
Cool. Oh, I lost my notes here. So the next, where's my notes? Agenda. So again, we definitely need to get a shout out to the Treeple team. It is, you know, it is an amazing platform that's involved. I know that I think they have like up to 30 people working on it right now. Huge shout out to Alex and his team, Vlad, Alexi, Anya, Anna. They've done an amazing amount of work in a small amount of time. You know, there's been little hiccups along the way, but for me, I feel more confident, you know, launching a site now. So I'm excited that there's more things to come. As far as keeping Treehouse going, this is a community-oriented event. We will eventually be setting up a website. We will have a contact form or a questions or comments form. Also regarding topics for the next meetings as well. This was kind of a loose meeting. We wanted to just sort of create something and then have it adapt to whatever the community needs from this point forward. I'm assuming most of the meetings won't be this long. Maybe they will be. We don't need to do the introductions every single meeting, so we can knock out probably 15 minutes of the meeting. The new Treehouse website will be built on Treeple. Yes, it will. And if anybody's interested in presenting, please let me know just by email or on Slack. And we're looking at our next meeting being December 14th. So we're looking at doing it every month right now, not every 2 weeks or not every week. So if anyone's interested in presenting, maybe we have a dual presenter one day. It could be something as simple as taking a site live from start to finish. So maybe you time out your entire site launch. You know, who knows if that can happen in an hour. Yeah, let us know and let us know how it all works out. And like I said, we'll put the recording on YouTube, add it to Facebook and the Slack channel just for now until we get the website up, and then we'll put all the past recordings in there as well. So, but give us a day or so. We have day jobs here we still have to work on. So, while I leave it at that, anybody have any other questions before I shut this down? No. Well, thank you everyone for attending. That was a record 31 people attended today. Well, we have no precedent here, but it's still 31 was better than what me and Peter and Adam thought was going to be 3 people attending. So that's pretty amazing. Hopefully it keeps growing. Right now, this is on my personal Zoom channel. So if we hit the 100 mark, I'm going to have to upgrade here. So let's keep it going, guys. And thank you, everyone. We'll talk to you guys later.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Aaron, for being so organized and running it.
Thanks,
You did
guys.
a great job.